Hi, biology. I'm going to show you guys how to make a graph for your fermentation tube. And this is part of your post lab. So let me share my screen with you and I'll get to what you guys need to do. So you guys are going to post the graph right here for your first post lab 20 points out of 90. So here's what you have to do. Plot the CO2 level over time. Make the time in minutes on the x-axis and CO2 level in 0.1 milliliter increments on the y-axis. Make sure the graph has a title and the x and y-axis are labeled, and you copy and paste the graph right here. Okay, so let me get to you guys for the example data table and what it should look like and what you guys need to do. So this is an example that your data might look like after you guys finish this. And from here, you're actually going to have to copy and paste to make it super easy. So click on time, come down here, click shift. So that whole row is highlighted. Okay, you can copy that, which I right clicked it right there, and you can paste it right here. So right click to find the paste again. And then you're going to do the same thing with the CO2. So I click it, I hover over this, I shift click, so I have it all. And then I right click this blue highlighted area. You can right click anywhere actually. So if I just right click here, I copy it, and then I right click again and I paste it. Okay, so you're literally just going to graph these two. The original data had you guys actually graph glucose as well, but since we didn't take the full glucose data, we just did one at 0, 15, and 30. We're just going to have you graph the CO2. So we adjusted the question a little bit. So if you saw that question change, we adjusted it just briefly just now. So what you do then is you click on the time, come down here and click on there. Okay. And so now you've got all of this highlighted, and then you can either go up to data, sorry, not data, sorry. I'm blanking, there we go, insert, chart, and you can make a chart that way, or the chart is right here as well. Okay, so I just like to use up here, so click insert chart, and you've got your chart that started. I'm just going to move it over so you can kind of see easier. Now, this is not exactly what we want it to look like. Okay, there's some adjustments we want to make for you guys, and so here's the adjustments. I said we want time in minutes. That's already there, which is great. And we've already got CO2 level here, which is great, but our title is not the greatest, and so we need to change the title if you guys want. And I'm going to let you guys choose the title, but you should have a good title, okay, that shows what is being compared here, okay, obviously in the graph. So I'm just telling you what should be here, okay. So this is our graph, and if you click it, I clicked off of it. If you click back on it, then you can actually click edit chart and get this pop-up menu right here I just got, okay. It is a line chart, so you want to keep that. All right. Our x-axis we already have is in minutes, and our y-axis, okay, which is in CO2 level, which is great. We already have those. Now we need to go to customize. Oops. See, I got off of it. Click edit chart. I'm going to do some customizing. So in customizing, we already have our chart style, which is line graph. We have our chart and axis titles, okay? But now we're gonna go to the series and make sure that's all good. Because what I wanna do is I want you guys to have some little points right here that we can click on. So if you go down a series, and this is a CO2, okay? We're going to click 7 point. Boom, see that? Now you can see them nice and easy, which is great, all right? So we have these little dots now, which are you can see your along the line a lot easier, which is great. We want that. Legend, don't need to worry about. Go to horizontal axis, okay? And we want to not do anything here actually. Sorry. Go to grid lines and ticks. I want to do this one, okay? So nothing with a horizontal or vertical axis, leave that. I'm going to go to grid lines and ticks, and we're going to go to steps, which means like how often it kind of does a tick mark. And for the time, since we're on the horizontal axis, we got time, which is horizontal, we're going to step every 5 minutes, right? Because we've got minutes there. So 5 minutes, watch what happens. And let me show you what happened beforehand and after. So there's no step value, just this 10, 20, and 30. But if we put 5 in there, it makes a line every 5 minutes, which is kind of where our graph is. So it's much more friendly to look at and to read. That's the purpose of a graph. So that's our horizontal. We want to adjust our CO2 because I told you guys that the CO2 had to be in what? 0.1 milliliters. So you go to CO2, which is the vertical. And what should I do instead of that? 0.1, which I had to save from before. Bam, look at that. Now we have these little lines we can follow along and see what happens. Okay, so that is your graph. Then you simply, once you take your graph, you can copy it, copy chart, and then go back and paste it. I go to here, paste, and watch. Paste unlinked. Bam. Okay, so that's my graph you should have there. So that is it.